Hello everyone and welcome back. In this lecture, we will quickly see how you can enable incremental caching in your indexer. Now, incremental enrichment makes your whole enrichment pipeline process efficient by caching intermediate steps. So let's say you have multiple skill sets in your enrichment pipeline. You can always cache your outputs in a blob storage by enabling incremental increment in indexer, and only those rows will be executed through web API skill set or any other skill set for which the input has changed. Now this caching can be disabled anytime on the fly, so you do not have to recreate your index. If you want to disable it, you can just uncheck the feature and this will disable your incremental enrichment and process all your rows via your skill set pipeline. Now enabling incremental enrichment is easy. Just go to your indexer and under your settings, under advanced setting, you can enable incremental enrichment. This will ask you to give a storage account address. Just choose your storage account. I'm going to choose a TGG storage account we created earlier. I'm going to leave manage identity authentication as none, but if you want to use a managed identity to authenticate to your data source, you can use user signed or system assigned options. Now because we have chosen incremental enrichment, we also have an option to schedule your indexer runs. So if you want your indexer to run hourly or daily, you can choose that. You can also choose custom to set your own cron timings. I'm going to continue running them manually, so just choosing the option once. That's it, our incremental enrichment is enabled. Save it. Now let's go back to our indexer. Now let's run our indexer once again and see what happens. I'm going to reset it and then run it again. So our indexing has started, and this time our indexer should cache all the skill web API calls, input and output mappings to our blob storage. Now because we have enabled caching in the pipeline, it's taking even longer time, but this is the first time we are running our indexer after enabling incremental enrichment. So it's going to store all the documents in our blob storage as cache. But when the next time you run the indexer after updating few documents, it should be fairly quick because the documents which are not changed, for example, if nothing has changed in the fields attribute, those will not be sent to your function or web API skill to be processed again. Your indexer will simply pick the output from storage blob, which is much quicker and cheaper. So let's wait for our indexer to complete. So it took about 33 minutes to complete our indexing with cache enabled. But if you go back to your storage explorer under your blob containers, now a new blob has been created by our indexer process to cache all our enrichment pipeline. So we have all the items cached here. This is, each folder reflects one row item from our data source, and if you open the document in your notepad, you will see that it's a JSON file which contains your enriched document. So you'll see the input that we have been sending through our skill sets, and then the output we are getting back here. Now this is tracked internally by your indexer process. So that's all for this lecture, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.